You see my abuelita that I put up?
That was so creepy. Like, I want to do that now.
Well, my daughter's like, let's play on Snapchat. And I'm like, that's stupid, whatever. So I put the face thing on, and all of a sudden my little abuelita is there, like with her hair.
And
like
the
when
voice
she
and everything, is that voice redone, or was that your voice?
No, the Snapchat app does the voice, and it was like, hey guys, my name is Omar Gonzalez. This is Moe. Welcome
Hi.
to the Moe and O
Photo
show.
Super clip. Awesome. Loudness. Audiophiles love it.
We have a new name, the Moe and O photo show. Thanks to, I didn't write his name down, but we had the first, Ryan from England. Ryan will be getting an old mug with the old name on it.
Because he's old.
No, I'm just kidding. I made a couple of new mugs, and we're going to send him one. And shipping will be $4,000.
Yes, just like Colombia.
You shipped one there too, didn't you?
My goodness.
Oh, boy. Anyway, guys, this show, if you're stumbling upon the show, this is a podcast between two buddies. We are friends that discuss photography. We do tech, phones, life, and food, usually.
I love food.
Food, good.
I'm a big fat boy.
Do you know what the keto diet is?
Yes, it's a lie.
Right?
It's a lie.
Well, I think like if you do some of the stuff from the keto diet, which is, reducing your carbs, I think it's good. But if you're on the keto, I've seen things where if you're on the keto diet, like you could be dying inside.
Yeah, like, every diet that has you reducing one very important part of your intake, you're risking something.
Yeah.
I mean, all these diets should be temporary. I mean, there should never be 24/7, 365 keto diet.
Yeah.
I mean, because you want to eat everything is that the one with the natural? Everything has to be
That one's where like carbs are completely out. So for rice, for example, you use
hard-boiled eggs
cauliflower.
and bacon are good,
Yeah.
but a little piece of bread, you're the devil.
Yeah, and I for variety.
Paleo, that's the one I was thinking.
Oh, paleo, yeah,
Okay.
paleo.
Get outta
Those
here.
people do them for a while, and then of course you go back to pizza. Damn it.
Unless you're one of those guys that has 6-packs forever. I hate you.
Yeah. So
Did you ever have 6-packs?
I did. I think when I was 22.
The closest I got to was a 3.5 pack, but I've always been 200 plus pounds.
Yeah, I had them by default. I was so skinny. We were talking. The
I
thing
kept
was
hearing
playing.
something in the background. I'm like, what is that?
Oh my God, we love to play our show on the show. It's sort of like an Inception thing.
Can you keep up with us? Let's talk about Canon.
Yeah, let's talk about Canon and then reviews in general. So the Canon RP, we talked about that last time, how we bashed it
Bashed
immediately.
it. We just threw it down a flight of stairs, picked it back up, brushed it off, and then threw it down another flight of stairs.
The staircase.
It was just, you know what? Based on its specs, it was very called for. I mean, but
How many YouTube videos are made just on specs and people don't hold on to the camera? And I've made them myself.
I don't know. There's billions probably. I
Yeah.
mean, billions. Because that's what we did. We heard the specs and we bashed it. Now, granted, based on hands-on review, we're right.
We were justified. Yeah,
We're
yeah.
justified. But I think one thing, I was watching DP reviews.
Love them.
Um,
Now we know their names, Chris and Jordan.
Chris and Jordan, and I was watching their review, and they went into it very politely. They bashed the camera, but in a way where you felt like, oh, that's a very nice way to do it. And the bottom line is, it is a camera aimed for very new beginners moving into the full frame market.
Yeah.
It's not meant for prosumers and not meant for pros.
Enthusiast. He kept saying, if you're an enthusiast
Or pro. He said,
he did say some people will be disappointed, but if you're just an enthusiast, and enthusiast meaning like a hobbyist.
I think you're lying.
All right, I have to rewatch it then, maybe.
Maybe I'm lying. I don't know. But no, based on what I got towards the end of the video, it was Jordan telling you definitely, if you're looking for this for video, stay away from it because it's you can get so much better from the XT30.
Do you feel Jordan's a little bitchier?
I think Jordan doesn't pull punches.
Yeah.
He's that guy like, listen, hold up, look at me. This is not the camera for you.
He's like, if you're looking for 10K 4-bit 9er 4er.
That's another thing. Like, he holds different level video cameras in his hand.
Yeah.
So he'll tell you right off the bat, like, if you're going to spend this much money for that, you might as well get the other one that has everything much better. And even with they've improved the eye face recognition.
Yeah, that was
thing.
cool. You saw that?
Yeah, and I was like, wow, 2 seconds. Two.
Oh, the
two
frames
frame per
yeah.
second thing. And I'm like, well, that's really
pretty bad.
slow.
Yeah.
Like, he would be in 1 second up here, then then the thing's like, where are you? I mean, it would find him.
But it was too late when you went for the shot.
So if you're not doing portraits, which you're just sitting still, you might as well not even bother with that camera.
So great lesson from Chris if you're doing a review. We said it last time, but he just says, I really love the handling. I really love the grip. He says a lot of positive stuff first. And then here's the key word that he uses. I really wish they would have.
Right. It's like being told, like, hey, it's okay, big guy. You could have next time.
You know what, Canon? I really wish that those had two card slots. But it's okay. Your handling is great.
Yes.
And but I really wish you weren't such an ass. Sorry.
Oh my.
Beep. Now I have to beep that.
Oh jeez. There will be some editing now.
Yeah. So I appreciate the way they review, and we were talking about this a little bit. Like we kind of did it to Panasonic, didn't we?
Yep. So I wanted to bring that up too. The S1 S1R.
I've never even seen that camera.
So
we were
here's
talking
the thing.
about it.
Art of photography, right? Ted Forbes. I was watching him the other day, and he made me realize so many things because I just you ever the YouTube wormhole, right?
Oh yeah.
So I watched one of
wasps.
his videos.
You got wasps.
Yeah, and I started like auto playing a lot of his videos. I mean, I'm already a subscriber to him, but it played all his videos back to back, and I'm like, you know what? He just went out to look at the Panasonic S1 and S1R, and he was talking about how it's not even released yet, so the firmware that's out on it isn't the final one. This, that, and the other. So I said to myself, yet here I am. I've already bashed this camera
And written it off.
and I've
Like
written
you
it
wouldn't
off.
even. Yeah.
So I'm decided that going forward, what I'm going to do on this little podcast is tell you the specs, give you my opinion on those specs, and try not to bash them. Whether I will say whether I like those specs or not, but I won't go in depth into bashing them like I did with the
Nikon.
Nikon.
That's a perfect example. We've sort of bashed that right away, and then kind of liked it after handling it and using
Bottom
it a
line,
little bit.
though,
Yeah.
it is much better than I ever would have dreamed, but it still would never have been my camera.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
those dual card slots.
Oh,
are
don't get into it
so-
now. You see,
Dios mío.
you've already ruined the New Year's
good
resolution that you had.
Feel good vibes.
What you're supposed to say is, I wish Nikon would have had dual cards.
You know what? Would have made that camera so much better if they would have gone with dual card slots.
Yeah. And then you sandwich it, and then you say, but the handling is great. The Nikon image quality coming out of the camera is just so crispy and delicious.
The eye autofocus that it's improved on, which went from almost nothing to an amazing level, it's great. So if you're not a professional, it's a great camera for you.
All right, so let's talk about the RP a little bit, what they said in DP review, and kind of bouncing off what we said last time. If you want a full frame and you want to just play around with, I always say that camera is kind of like, no one's buying a $2,000 lens, because the R lineup, the mirrorless lineup for Canon is like pro already. It's all red ring.
Exactly.
But if you want to adapt one of your plasticky little, 50 millimeter, $1.8 lenses on there, man, you could just play. And it's full frame. Once you go full frame, bro.
Exactly. If you're gonna be talking head video and you're just gonna have it on a tripod, not moving around, it's gonna be one of the better cameras out there for you to record in 4K.
So would the RP work for this setup? Like if someone was doing like a 2-guy thing or 2-girl thing? Ooh.
Or both. Couples.
Oh, that show just got a little dirty right there.
Oh my! Get your room clean.
I
I think it could work. But bottom line is this, though: if the battery will last long enough to get us through our recording, then it'll be worth it. But I think an investment when you already have a solution isn't really a solution.
That's a great point. You're right. It's buying just for the sake of buying.
Right, just to say that I'm not putting the stress on. I mean, but if you are alleviating the stress on your work camera, then maybe it is worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder what kind of wear and tear video does to it.
No, it's not too. I don't think it. I don't know actually.
Say the words. Say it.
It's because I don't know. I was going to make something up. Do you know my shutter? I had to get my shutter replaced on the 5D Mark IV because, man, the shutter count on it?
I can't even imagine. You're a sprayer.
total sprayer, right? And I shoot about, like, if someone is coming in at an entrance, I have about, like, 12 frames for 2 feet. But I get my moments.
That's right. And that's hold on a second. When I say Omar's a sprayer, it's important to realize he shoots events. For event photography, you do want to spray at certain moments.
Without praying.
But there's certain moments where you don't want to spray because there's no need to spray. No one's moving. There's nothing going on. You could measure the shot you want, click it, move over somewhere else. Especially like weddings where you're doing the vows.
Yeah.
Don't spray.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's the ring exchange going on or the kiss, yes, spray. But if they're just looking at each other, don't spray.
Yeah.
There's moments to spray. But Omar has doing it. He does a lot of bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs. There's people running around all the time. The chair being spun around. There's moments where you just, in his line of work, have to spray all day.
Yeah, spray all day. I got the shirts made, yo. But I was going to say, the other time I do it is, let's say it's the grab and grin, I call it. People grab each other. Sorry.
We're both sick, by the way, in case you're wondering why we sound like we sound.
Yeah. I will shoot 3 frames. Pop, pop, pop. And my speed light flash power is around 31/16 or lower usually. So the recycle is just as fast as pop, pop, pop. So I could shoot 3 quick. And the reason I do that is because people's expressions change really quickly. Someone either will blink or there's like a heightened moment where people are still moving. Some people are slower for pose shots. I see them in my frame, and there's 4 people that are ready, and the last lady in the corner is still, like, flipping her hair.
Yes.
And I've already shot 3 pictures, and I'm waiting for her to finally be like, yeah, hi,
And then when
hi.
she pops it, everyone else is walking away. I'm like, Photoshop later. Gosh dang you.
No, these are, like, the party shots and stuff. But, yeah, there are people that are slower than the others. So sometimes that person gets cut off. They don't know that, but if the other group of the friends, these are like adults that are like just super partying, their ties are like off, and they're like screaming, and she's fixing herself in the corner. If that picture was stronger,
if she isn't part of the middle group, she's out.
She's out. She's cropped, and the picture is amazing because everyone's like, yeah.
It's like, Gwen, we're gonna have to cut you, Gwen.
Gwen, stop with the hair, Gwen.
Gwen, you have 2 teeth. Please focus here.
Gwen all of a sudden is toothless. Oh no, she has
just
2
2.
teeth. So anyway, I do spray a lot of times there, pop, pop, pop really quick, just so that I have a choice later, and I get to deliver my client like great moments because of that. So my shutter count because of that was 350,000.
Wow.
That is, and the light. You know what a life of a Canon 5D Mark IV shutter recommended is?
500,000.
No, it's recommended to switch it out at like 150,000 shutter count. And the woman who, at the Canon Pro Center that like hooked it up, and she's like,
Sir, we're calling camera Dyfus.
Sir, you're going to have to leave, sir, and leave this camera with us.
It's like, this poor baby.
Yeah. So I said, yeah, I shoot a lot. I was like all embarrassed. I was like, yeah, I pray and spray. No, actually, the other so sorry. I was good. To finish that story, I have the shutter replaced.
Wow.
But when you're shooting video, the shutter is not involved because it flips up the mirror, and we're just like shooting into the sensor.
Delicious.
But yeah, I had the shutter replaced, and now I asked her, I'm like, is it at 0 now? And she's like, yep, it's like a brand new camera for that. Anyway.
When I got my first Nikon D800, my only Nikon D800, I went to the 850 after that. But when I got it, it was refurbished, and they had replaced the shutter mechanism. So it actually came to me
with a fresh shutter.
With a fresh shutter, and I was like, get out of here. Then I realized, it's refurbished. It makes sense, blah, blah, blah. And I finished it up with just 50,000.
Wow. That's crazy.
And I shot a lot, I thought.
I got nothing on me, yo.
I know nothing.
Well, it's funny. It's like that's the biggest selling. If you're trying to sell your camera used, people are like, what's your shutter count? What's your shutter count? And you're like, I looked up the shutter count for my 5D Mark IV, and it was high. It was like 180,000. But I put it up there, 180,000. It cost me, I think, $150 to change out the shutter. And I wonder how much your resale would go up if you said, hey, my shutter count's 3.
Wait, the camera's 8 years old, but it's only 3 shots?
I don't pray and spray.
I only take the shot. The shot.
I compose, and then I do not take the shot. If it's not, no. So I only have
shot
3
that
frames.
makes baby Jesus cry.
Yes. You should see my portfolio.
I love that quote comment the other day. Makes baby Jesus cry. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
I love our fans. They're weird.
Yeah. Love that. Hey, I'm going to ask you something real quick. You put up something like this little knock on people that call themselves pro.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
I do know what you're talking about.
I was going to say, like, I was like, I shoot an aperture priority sometimes, if the situation calls for it. It was I'll put it up here, but it was like everyone's a pro until you have to shoot manual.
Exactly. It was the top of a shutter dial, a mode dial. And,
Come on, that's messed up, yo.
I thought it was hilarious because
it's messed up.
It's the truth. How many times?
It's not the truth.
It's the truth.
We're gonna debate now. Let's go.
How many times have you had people who really know nothing about photography other than they take great composed pictures, telling you, "Oh, look at this picture," and they have the pop-up flash up and this.
Yeah, but they could hold the pop-up flash down,
but they don't.
And taking it. All right, let's say the pop-up flash doesn't go off. They could have the best eye and shoot in auto. Could they be pro? I say
anyone
yes.
could be pro. Listen, you could be
I
a
say
pro with
yes,
an iPhone.
brother.
You could be a pro with an iPhone. You could be a pro with a Samsung phone.
Damn you.
You could be a pro with anything. I just think it's hilarious. When I saw that meme myself, I'm like, I've been here.
That's a good debate. Like, do you need to know the workings of the exposure triangle to charge people?
No. You know what you need to charge people? You need to be able to deliver a product someone wants.
You're right. Like, if you shot auto and the same thing and you rocked it and people will pay for that.
If I took my iPhone XR 10R
Right.
and I went out to someone's event as a guest and I rocked all these pictures for them and I showed it to them in my my gallery setup and I'm like, hey, if you want these photos, it'll only cost you this much. Someone might pay for those.
Yeah, totally.
So it's again, I'm a strong believer in a professional should air quotes for those listening, should know a lot about the specs, the technical
How to work
side,
the camera, yeah.
and how to get the light, how to do this. But ultimately, the definition of a pro is someone receiving money for their work.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to be professional to be a pro.
Yeah. I love it. That was a great debate that really didn't get too heated.
Uños a la cara.
Awesome.
Speaking of charging,
Go.
when should you charge?
When I charge?
When do you charge? When should you give a discount? When should you be freebie? Should you be freebie? Should you always charge?
No, you shouldn't always charge. In my philosophy, one of the 2 times that you should not charge is one when you're starting and trying to build your work, when you don't have the confidence to charge, because that will just, as long as the other person knows, that you're building your portfolio or this is a learning process. And 2, for your personal work. For the personal work, you really shouldn't charge people when you're trying something, to like the headshot thing that we did. Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable charging because we were building our knowledge base.
Right. Now, we're both very good headshot takers, but we were trying something brand new.
Totally could have charged.
So we could have, by the time they got their product, we could have charged the corporation, a big normal bucket.
$14,000.
But we decided we were trying a new indoor setup with the.
We were also having fun.
Well, don't tell them that.
Oh, all right.
It's work. It's work, son. It's all day work. It's what we do.
I sweat. My back hurt.
Carrying all that equipment.
Oh my God! Did you see?
Yeah.
I put that up in my video.
Go to Omar's channel and watch the headshot video he put up there. It was hilarious, and you see all the stuff that we didn't need to bring.
I felt it was, what was fun about it was I felt like we were playing number one, but the fact that I got that little tinge inside that when we were beginners, when we would just like bring too much or have all these like little triggers and things that we were changing batteries in, it was like playing.
It was like playing, and then there was work when we had to figure out that young lady's glasses.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Tell us, first of all, shooting people with glasses.
Yeah.
It can be easy or it can be a nightmare. And no matter how seasoned you are, you're going to run into a situation where one person isn't falling into all the fixes.
Yeah, we actually had a few people with glasses prior to, and what you can do with people with glasses is sometimes you just get them to tilt the glasses up slightly, and then the modifier doesn't show up in the glasses. So we tried that with this woman, but she must have had some dome lenses.
To the OPEX. They're concave and convex. They're both.
Convex. Anyway, you know what it was? It was my fault because the light was just it was so big that it was hitting the ceiling. And the thing is, if you angle the light with someone with glasses in the, like the angle of incidence is equal to the angle
Angular reflection, yes.
Exactly. So if someone has glasses, if you move the light higher and down, they'll still get beautiful light, but it will be blocked, like it'll go. But our light was so huge.
It was huge. And this little girl was like this big.
Yeah. So it was so big that it was coming too forward. So we had to keep feather. We got it finished. It actually ended up being one of the better shots of her. But it was tough.
It was tough. Like we said, we had 2-3 other guys with glasses and a couple quick tweaks, and we fixed them in seconds.
Yeah.
This lady took 8-9 shots before we finally got to a point where
we kicked her out.
Yeah,
We're like,
listen,
get the hell out of here.
Susan, you again. You got to go.
It's your damn dome glasses. But I think that taught me something, because since I love soft, beautiful light, I automatically brought like the 7-footer, and it was stupid. We had beautiful light on them, but you can get the same thing. We're shooting tight anyway. I could have brought the 3-footer.
And put it right on top of
Put it right on top of them. Do a Joel Grimes kind of more beauty dish.
Put the camera right underneath them.
Yeah. So it would have been more portable. It actually would have been a little better for that 3/4 shot. So that was overkill. And that's what I learned. That's what I learned there.
Let me take it back, because
Go back to what we were talking about.
We jumped everywhere. I want to talk about that, when to charge, when not to charge. So you mentioned not to charging when you're learning your stuff, when you're first starting out, when you're practicing some new techniques for yourself.
Or charity. Sorry, I forgot charity.
Or charity. Well, that's what I wanted to bring up.
Okay, sorry.
Like I know Omar 2 years ago donated 6 hours of his day to shoot the Mugfest for us, and everyone loved the shoot. And we're glad he didn't charge his prices, because we can't afford them.
I would never charge for that, but yeah.
So there's always times where you don't charge, and sometimes you could even give a discount. Like in my level of photography, I don't shoot massive events. I shoot family moments and this, that, and the other. And I'm aimed to a more pocket challenged demographic than you are. You're lucky enough to deal with people who can't afford, and it's no big deal. I tend to work with families and people who are on the lower side of the financial, where photography is not even the 7th or 8th thought in their mind. So I always come in at a lower price for them, because I realize there is nothing more important than having a family portrait of your family. And if you're deciding between rent and photos, you shouldn't be making that decision.
Yeah,
it should be very simple. And luckily I have a full-time job where I don't need to charge a lot for the photography I do. But for family portraits, Christmas portraits, baby portraits, I always try to come in at a reasonable price, so that they don't have to debate whether or not they want to take these photos, because some things in life aren't necessarily a necessity, but you need them.
Yeah, and you get something out of it too, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always feel good about it. I've lived such a sinful life. I need to
give back.
I need to, make all the points I can get back somewhere. So
that's great. That's really great. I think there's people that should be charging that aren't charging, and so maybe we should talk about that a little bit. You could fall into the danger of, I think, let's say you do have a great day job, and you are coming from being a hobbyist to shooting everyone's portraits. If you're having a freaking great time and everyone's getting these portraits, posting, printing, and you're just, giving them the farm, you're doing a disservice to people who are trying to make a living out of photography, or maybe are scraping by as a photographer. So there is a fine line, I think, where you go from, hey, I'm learning, to you are part of this world, this photography world. So I think some people kind of need to decide if it's personal work, I don't charge, or hey, people are abusing you.
Right, because it comes to a point where, hey, Billy, come to my party this weekend. Oh, and bring your camera. I would love for you to take some photos from my family.
I told you I was invited to a wedding just to do photos.
Yeah, and people don't understand. Like, listen, if we don't mind doing photos as we're learning, but when it gets to the point where I'm working your fun event and I'm not getting paid to work your fun event, that's another thing. That's another thing. Like, as a human being, if you say, "Hey, I'm gonna go get Moe to do this because I know he won't charge me," then you're just being rude. Because I mean, we're all small businesses, and if you have a small business and you don't expect me to ask you for a discount, how dare you expect me to give you away what I do?
Yeah,
that's true. You have to balance yourself out. I mean, I never ever, like, for instance, the guac spot. Remember they tried to get those
gosh,
they're a small business.
Our friends own a great place. If you're near Verona, New Jersey, they're called the Guac Spot. They make fresh guac every day.
And we shot their wedding.
Yeah,
and they feel like we're friends. We shot their weddings, and they kind of gave us a discount on one of our meals, and we sneak it back into the tip. Because we realize that small businesses can't cut each other breaks because we're small businesses. Yeah, we need all the profits.
Hold on, you're ruining this. I want free guac.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm just kidding.
Guac is so delicious.
Yeah, so Jonathan's always like trying to, whatever. But there was one time he, swung the register like the stripe thing around for me to sign, and there was a button for tip, and I was like, damn, bastard.
Yeah, I just put the $20 bill in the little bucket.
Oh, the tip thing. Yeah.
And they're like, well, you
can't stop us, Jonathan.
You can't do it, Jonathan. Yeah. So again, there's times to charge, there's times not to charge. You have to find a balance of both. Like Omar said, don't let somebody take advantage of you because you're having fun doing it. If they're coming to you and they don't talk to you all week long, and the only time they come talk to you is when they need a photo session, you should really rethink what you're doing. And then, what to charge when you're starting. What feels right.
All right, so you got something on that?
I was going to say, when you start, you have two options. You charge with what feels right, and if they pay it, then you're good. Or you could do research around your neighborhood and see what other people are charging. Not everyone lists their prices, but a lot of people do. And then you could just wage yourself somewhere in between there.
Okay, so here's my theory on that. So the first thing is you have to, in my opinion, know your level of ability. Meaning, if someone says, hey, I have a little wedding this Friday, I want you to shoot the wedding at this dark church, then we're going to this darker basement, and then we're going to the rooftop, super hot, bright sunlight for the reception. What are your thoughts?
No.
So you know your abilities. Like, I know that I could do that. Like, if I had to do that, I can go mobile with lights. I know I can have speed lights around the room in the dark basement. But let's say someone doesn't have any lights. They're just a natural light shooter with a camera. They should not charge. They should not say, look up their, local, oh, it's a $10,000 market, So number one, you have to know your ability. And two, you have to know, am I adaptable? Can I shoot in any situation if it's an event? That's number one. So can you shoot in a situation? Number two, let's say it's just natural light portraits, how good are you? Are you good enough to charge? Are you still in the learning process and your client will understand that? Or are you really good? Like, you compare your work to others and you're really good. You can charge, and you can charge what you want, It's
important when we say you compare your work is you need, again, we beat this into the ground, but you need those friends that are objective enough to tell you the truth.
Are friends objective, though? Like, are friends really objective? I don't think anyone wants to hurt anyone's feelings.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to either post something somewhere where you'll get natural criticism. You have to hope to have a friend like Omar who'll tell you, like, no, that's ugly.
Yeah, I don't think I would even. I think what you're supposed to do is go to, like, people who see work all the time and are, can be critical without knowing you.
And where's that, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's like portfolio, at these conventions, they have portfolio reviews, and you have to pay for those.
Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you really get a great sense of where you are with those reviews.
Yeah, actually, let us know in the comments below if there's a community or place where people can get their work critiqued honestly. That's probably a good thing we should look up, right?
Yeah,
because I think I'd be interested to put my work up.
My
People love my work, but I think not really. I think people are just positive in general. No one's going to say, hey, this composition is too bullseye, which I shoot bullseye composition.
I don't have those people in my life. I have people who tell me straight out, like, dude, that sucked. I mean,
really?
Yeah, like, the trolls. First of all, those are trolls.
Oh, yeah. Well.
But they make you think, like, well, does it suck?
Please. I get destroyed. I mean, if someone reviewing my portfolio is like, you need to go back to the drawing board, I'd be like,
your work is amazing. Your work is great. And I don't say that just because I love you. I say that because I know what your work is. I've seen it. I've seen it compared to other people's work. And you are a photographer hidden amongst a sea of other photographers. But if more people saw your work, your channel would be bigger. You would be bigger. You're just an amazing photographer.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
I think
that means a lot.
The fact that you could go from natural light to speed lights to a dark room to a well lit room. I've seen you panic, but I've never seen you.
Remember that?
I've never seen you break though. I've never seen you not deliver.
Oh yeah.
And I think that says a lot for yourself.
I got to bring this up to you. You just brought up a good point. Like you see me panic. So my son's little league coach dropped some serious knowledge like in the team meeting, and I was in the back like motivated because I related it to almost anything you do. All right. So this was his advice. He said he would rather have the kids up at bat in the state of mind, instead of fearing of failure, like bases loaded, 9th inning, instead of going up there with the fear of, hey, I can't do this, I can't get this run in, have the hope for greatness. And so stepping up to the plate with like, hey, I'm hoping that I can get this hit, as opposed to like, dang, I hope I don't fail.
Right.
And I think that even Zach Arias has said every job, and a lot of professional photographers say every job they're about to do, a lot of them are like sweaty armpits, super anxiety, always nervous before a shoot, because I think as humans, we have that fear to fail as opposed to like, I'm going to rock this.
The expectation to succeed.
Totally, right? And so I took the coach's advice for this Saturday, and Georgie can attest to this. The family formals were mayhem. And I was in a state of mind of like, I got this. And there was the fear for just that, like the fear and anxiety. I was like owning the entire, like corralling the family, and they were having a great time and I was having a great time. And so state of mind is like
everything. So
back to charging. I think it takes a level of confidence too, where you can say, hey, I'm confident that I'm going to charge $150 for this portrait session that is non-refundable. That means if the client completely is a no-show, I have $150 to secure the date. That doesn't include any prints. That doesn't include any digital files. You're paying me for my time, the travel, the shoot,
the equipment,
setup, the editing, the software that I use. It's $150 portrait shoot. Once you get over that hump that they're not getting anything, you have to get over that hump of there's no pictures coming, with that portrait session. I think that's the first step for a lot of people, is to be like, whoa, they're giving me money for nothing? No, they're giving me money for all the stuff I just said. And
again, if you're editing with Picasso still, I don't think you're not charging $500 for anything. Yeah. But either way.
And if you're thinking of charging, it's an exciting time for you, because that means that you are taking a step to either having like a little side hustle, and that extra cash is great to have, either to buy more gear in the beginning. Like in the beginning, it's
all
just
the gear.
Okay, I think this one's gone too long.
I think we're over. I'm like wondering where the.
I could see you're getting tired.
No, I'm looking where the timer is.
Hey, look at the symmetry. Look at the symmetry in us here.
Nipples.
Hey, I'm Moe. All right, guys. Oh, el viejo.
All right.
All right, guys.
Well, thanks for stopping by today. And if anything, we'll talk some more next week, because we love you.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. All right, bye.